Here we are. Graphics ready to go. It's lunch with Guff. The recap lunch hour with me, Guff, Ryan McGuffey. What's up, everybody? Happy hump day. Wednesday. Is it Wednesday? Yeah, it's Wednesday. Happy Wednesday to you. Plenty of stuff to discuss. We got a hot topic here. I want to hear your trade proposals because we've learned that the Chicago Cubs have thrown their hat into the Garrett Crochet ring, which quite frankly doesn't surprise me. I've been saying for weeks that the Bears, Jesus, that's how much the Bears are on. I mean, look at it. I'm already reading the comments and we're getting a Bears comment. Leon, I'm coming right back to you. Okay. Justin, what's up, man? I knew you were in the waiting room. Good to see you. And new profile pic, if I'm not mistaken, there by Justin. Switched it up while waiting in the weight room. I think that's maybe that's your little guy. That's awesome. So we're going to get to the Cubs and White Sox potential trade for Garrett Crochet. It looks like we have a couple Bears questions, though, to start us off. So, Leon, you were first. Hoping the Bears really are not interested in Marcus Freeman of all college coaches. Why him? Is he an offensive guru that no one knows about at this point? Might as well go for Lincoln Riley. Okay. First of all, I think the Marcus Freeman report is an agent trying to get himself some new paper, and that Marcus Freeman's one of the most sought-after college coaches in football. Notre Dame's on their way to the playoffs. He's been fantastic. One of the best things that ever happened to Notre Dame was Brian Kelly left to go to LSU. I like Marcus Freeman a lot, and I've told my son if he ever walks into our living room, it'd be very hard to say no. I think he's a great leader of men. Marcus Freeman will make a good coach, I think, in the NFL at some point. I don't think he fits the Bears right now. Quite frankly, I don't think he leaves Notre Dame. I like Lincoln Riley, great offensive mind. What have they done? What have they done at USC? Guy's got one of the most stacked rosters, but he's got a 10-year, $115 million contract, folks. Lincoln Riley's going nowhere either, okay? Wayne, Guff, I have a question about the debacle on Thanksgiving. If Brown is in Caleb's earpiece, could he have called a timeout? I was literally just talking about this half hour ago. In theory, yes, but if you're trying to get the play call in, think about this, Wayne. At the 15-second mark on the play call, or on the play clock, the helmet radio goes out. They turn off the coach's ability to speak to the quarterback at 15 seconds on the play clock. So as that thing's ticking down and you're calling a play and there is chaos ensuing, maybe Thomas Brown could get on the headset and say, hey, Eberflus, Matt, timeout. But at that point, you're trying to make sure the right play is in. And I think, so yes, in theory, he could have said, Caleb, call a timeout. But he's also trying to get a play in as the play clock's running down from, or ticking off. As the game clock and the play clock, which I believe were a 3-second difference at that point. So Justin says, not his little guy, that's him at 3. I should have known that, Justin, because you just graduated college, I think, and you're trying to become the future play-by-play voice of the Chicago White Sox. So that's my bad. This is a guy who takes – I want to know the viewers. I remember you saying that, I think, yesterday. So my bad. I should have understood that was you, showing how long you've been going to games. I appreciate that about you. Clyde, what up, man? Would you persuade Chicago White Sox GM Chris Getz for an interview with you on the podcast? I will absolutely aim for Chris Getz to come on the White Sox Recap podcast, which we are taping a new episode today with me, Brian Anderson, and White Sox beat writer from MLB.com, Scott Merkin. We'll be taping that later this afternoon. That'll drop later tonight as we look ahead and talk Garrett Crochet and exactly what the White Sox are going to be eyeballing, if anything else, in Dallas. Eric, Crochet, Robert for PCA, Casey, and someone else. I'd be curious what Cap would say about that. He would say no shot, I guarantee you. I think that trade proposal, to be quite honest with you, is a very fair start. I think it's a very – oh, here, Cap just walked in, and now he's fired up. Crochet and Robert for Cassie and PCA.
Crochet and Robert.
For Cassie?
I'm going to take all the money on Robert.
Yeah, if you'd like to sit down, be my guest. Here comes Cap. See, Eric, great question, because now Cap's getting involved. This is going to be a nice little topic as we discuss Crochet. But he's saying Crochet and Robert for PCA, Casey, and someone else.
Well, who's the someone else?
Well, it's going to be a lower level prospect, not a top 100. You got 7 in the top 100. If you're getting PCA, that's a high caliber prospect.
Well, that's a high caliber play. I think he's going to be You got 6 years of control for
Right.
what you would
But what I'm
think will be
saying
a
is-
Gold Glove center fielder.
Okay. So you're getting a Gold Glove center fielder in return.
Yeah, who I owe a lot of money to
15
and
million.
who struggles offensively.
15 million. Yeah.
It doesn't stay healthy.
But you're getting 2 years of a cheap pitcher. It's a good, I'll be honest with you, it's a really good proposal. It's a really strong proposal. No proposal with me. There, unless you're including Shaw or Casey, don't even call me.
So if I said to you it was PCA straight up for Crochet,
That's interesting.
I'm not sure I would do that.
Are you out of your mind?
No.
Okay.
I can go sign Max Fried, who's a really good pitcher, and I have my Gold Glove center fielder.
$150 million to sign Max Fried, who can't stay healthy either. Not an ace.
He's pretty close. He's
He's not Garrett Crochet.
You want me to believe that Garrett Crochet is going to stay healthy when the last 3 months he pitched 3 innings a game?
He pitched 4, and he never was. That was just to protect the investment. It wasn't because he was injured. He made his start every 5th day. Here's what we're saying. Not a bad proposal from Eric. It's making you think. You're not coming in here going, no shot.
I'd have to think about it.
Okay, so keep thinking.
Am I extending Crochet? Am I just going year to year with him? I don't know.
How about this one? Casey, Trientos, Alcantara, or Shaw. Okay.
You're not getting Shaw.
So Shaw untouchable?
Shaw is untouchable.
Okay. Well, then I might be looking at other teams.
Yeah.
Because I'm using now if you're telling me Shaw is the number 23 prospect in baseball, I'm calling the Orioles and saying, can I get Mayo?
I mean, you're talking about 1 for 1?
No, I'm saying you're getting Mayo and probably a lower, at that point, probably like top.
And what is Mayo number?
8.
If I'm Baltimore, I'm not doing that.
If you're Baltimore, you have 0 starting pitching. You're going to lose the top of the line guy to another free agent, and you have a bunch of bats.
Well, I have to know what my internals are on Mayo. Did they look at Mayo and go, that's the next Adley Rutschman, Anthony Santander? Is that Jackson Merrill, Jackson Churio? No, I'm not doing it. If they go, he's a good player, but he's not a game changer, okay, I'll make the deal.
Well, you don't get to the top 10 of prospects and not be at least labeled.
I saw
a game
Corey
changer.
Patterson be the number 1 prospect 2 straight years.
Yeah.
And he was vastly overrated.
I saw Yohan Moncada as well being the number 1 prospect.
Vastly overrated.
Kobe Mayo, 6'5", 230, projects as a third baseman / first baseman. So he's the number 8 prospect in all of baseball.
Mm-hmm.
You can go down to I don't like catcher / first baseman. That concerns me when you look at, I think it's Basallo.
Samuel Basallo. He's a good player.
Yeah, but the Sox already have they are not that you can't have too many catchers. So, but Matt Shaw is 22. Okay. Casey is 34.
Mm-hmm.
You're not doing a Crochet deal without one of those 2 players. Put yourself in Chris Getz. Why would you do a trade without one of those 2?
It would not be Shaw for me. Casey, maybe. I'd have to, again, I got to know what my internal scouting is.
Okay. About this exact proposal with Justin here, Trientos is down here. So Trientos is 55.
Uh-huh.
Okay. You can't say, Justin, I know what you're looking at here, man, but you can't say you want Casey, Trientos, and either Alcantara or Shaw. Shaw, first of all, is the best of the 4. Okay. You're already getting 34 and 55 with those first 2 players.
I don't think Jed gives you.
I don't think you get an Alcantara 67.
You're not getting all 3 of them.
You're not getting all 3 of them. I mean, even I will tell you that you're sure as hell not getting all 4. And I know you said either Alcantara or Shaw. Shaw's 22 in terms of the prospect ranking.
And he's probably 22 years old.
Yeah.
Santos
says the only guy I wouldn't trade is Shaw. Well, the only guys you wouldn't trade are Shaw, Casey, and who's this guy? Ballesteros. The Cubs have too many outfielders and don't need Robert. Hey, Santos, hang up your phone then because you're not getting Garrett Crochet. You won't give us your top 3 prospects. Bye-bye. It's not going to work with you. Okay. That's easy. You're not, he's the most coveted. And Cap and I debated this 7 years ago in person when he was telling me to fly a kite at best when I told him that Jose Quintana was going to get traded for top tier prospects. And he laughed in my face. And then of all teams to do it, it was the Chicago
And it
Cubs.
was a horrible trade.
It was a horrible trade.
And it turned out not as horrible because the two guys you gave up, one you got rid of, and the other guy was vastly overrated because he couldn't stay healthy.
He's a piece of garbage. Cease was really good.
He's a good guy. We don't call good guys garbage. It did not pan out on the field.
He was a garbage baseball player. What do you want me to say? He is a good guy. We call bad players. PCA isn't going anywhere. I doubt Shaw is either. Hey, Tyler, then stop threading the needle and thinking about being a Cubs fan that can spend a lot of money and keep all your prospects. Who are you? I've been saying this on the radio. Who are you?
Well, first of all, you can't play all your prospects.
And they're prospects. Don't
Correct.
fall in love.
I'm with you.
PCA is not a prospect.
I am
anymore.
not giving up Pete Crow Armstrong in that deal.
Okay.
And
I'm just telling you, guys like Tyler, there are fans out there saying, well, I wouldn't trade my top 5 prospects, and I also wouldn't trade PCA, but we should get Crochet.
Then stop thinking you're going to get major league standouts. You're not.
That's not how it works, man. Justin, I think.
Well, I'll give you the 8 best prospects outside my top 50 guys I have. It's not going to work, dude.
No, I do think, to me, those are the 2 clubhouse leaders, what Justin has in Boston and Baltimore. I do think that. We saw the report today from John Morosi that the Cubs and Reds have thrown themselves into the ring. You know, there's a lot of agent speak right now, a lot of GMs throwing out information because on Sunday when that hotel, and Cap and I have been in those hotel.
Yeah, it's awesome. I'm bummed I'm not going to be there.
I know. We're talking about next year. It's literally probably my favorite thing to be a part of because of the buzz and the anticipation and the unknown. And you see these reactions of front offices right in front of you. You know,
it's awesome.
At 7 o'clock, well, basically at 9 p.m., the hotel bars are lighting up.
And guys are like, I can't believe they gave that guy that much money. What just happened?
Yep.
It's like, and you run to the press room. I was there when A-Rod got the 252 from the Rangers. Oh, they lit the lobby on fire there in Dallas.
Hey, Chris, what? So he says stay away from Crochet and Roberts. That'd be Robert. Both need to prove themselves. Okay. But what exactly in the Cubs prospect system? What have they proven?
Nothing.
Exactly. So
like, I love Matt Shaw because
what are we
everything
doing?
I hear is really positive, and he had a great winter so far. But guess what? Matt Shaw has the exact same number of hits in the big leagues that we do.
Tyler's saying there's a 0% chance. I never put 0 chance on anything anymore. I do not put 0 chance on anything because for the right deal or for desperation or if your ass is on the line, that's what I've been asking for in this trade for the White Sox. They hold the golden nugget. So find the team that's most desperate because someone's going to say, fine, I'll give you the third guy.
Correct. I can tell you this is a true story because I got it from one of the guys in the deal. Several years ago, 98, I believe it was, Ed Lynch is the Cubs GM. Ed Lynch is trying to get Mike Piazza from the Miami Marlins, from the Dodgers first. And the Marlins come riding in at the last second, and they're just going to be a way station. They're going to give up what they have to get him, then they're going to move him. He was in Florida 3 days, and they traded him because the Dodgers got what they wanted from Miami. Mike Piazza, I have an interview at home on tape where he literally tells me he goes in to take a shower. He gets removed from the game. He gets in to take a shower. Larry Beinfest is the GM of the Marlins at the time. Good guy. And he'd won a World Series in 97. He comes in. He goes, "You're going to Chicago. Done. I just did a deal with the Cubs." And he's like, "Wow, Wrigley Cubs? Cool." And he gets out of the shower. He's drying off, and Larry Beinfest comes in and goes, "Scratch that. You're going to the Mets," because they agreed to put a pitcher. You can look him up. 6th ranked prospect in baseball, a lefty named Jeff Getz. I think he was like the number 6 overall pick in the first round. And they called Ed Lynch and said, if you want him, you got to add, I don't remember, it was Pat Klein or David Kelton or Nick Jackson. All these was for the Cubs, but they were our highest rated prospects. He's like, I'm not adding any more. I've given you my best offer. And they're like, okay, you're out. And so Mike Piazza becomes a Hall of Famer with the Mets. And guess what? None of those other guys ever played for us.
And that's my point, is that I'm going to go out on a limb here and say of the 7 prospects in the top 100 from the Cubs, at least 4 won't pan out. At least. You can come at me. I'll keep the receipt, whatever you want to do 4 years from now when 6 of the 7 are studs. Fine. But I'm just telling you, that's how it works.
Ask Jim Riggleman. He got let go by the Cubs. He became a coach in Cleveland. John Hart was the GM at the time. Great dude. John Hart had a lot of success. John Hart says, hey, welcome over to Cleveland here and get away from that ridiculous GM you had in Chicago. He goes, what do you mean? He said, I literally called your GM, Ed Lynch again, and said, hey, man, my 4th outfielder just went down and I'm short a pitcher. Trade me Scott Bullitt.
What a career.
Who wore number 10, and it drove Ron Santo insane till the day he died. And you have this young pitcher. He's okay. He's not great, but he's pretty solid. You give me those 2, you can have my number 1 prospect. It is a gross overpay. Quote, it is a gross overpay, but I'm up against the wall here. I got to have these because we think we can win the World Series. And I think they did go to the World Series and lost to the Marlins. And he said, yeah, no, I'm not going to do that. Steve Traxel and Scott Bullitt for Bartolo Colon at age 19. I'll leave you on that.
I mean, it's insane.
That is the Ryan McGuffey show.
Ryan,
awesome.
Hey, Ryan has these are the type. I like guys like Ryan. Shocking. He's got a great name. Let's get crazy. Get Crochet and sign Sasaki. Add Tyone to the Bellinger deal to maximize that return. And your rotation is Crochet, Steele, Shota Imanaga, Roki, and Boyd. Take that.
Okay, let me just tell you, Ryan, why that would never work. First of all, you said add Tyone to the Bellinger deal to maximize return. So you think there's a team out there that's going to take 27.5 times 2 years and 18.2 the 2 years left, Jamison Tyone. So you think someone is going to take 36 and 55? Someone's going to take almost 90 million and give you something? You're not going to be able to move Bellinger without eating half the money or putting one of your best prospects in the deal.
What if the Yankees lose on Soto, which they probably will?
They might take Bellinger, but they're going to tell you got to eat some of the money, or if you don't eat the money, you're getting a lower level player.
Jimbo, what's up? TV, I don't get the Boyd signing. What about Wicks, Ben Brown? See, again, you're falling in love here, DV. You're falling in love with prospects. There's just so much uncertainty here. You got Ben Brown, who's been in and out of the IL already.
Correct. He was out, 3 months with a neck injury?
So
Jordan Wicks was out twice with an oblique. Cade Horton was shut down with an injury. Boyd's not great. He's 2024 Drew Smiley is what he is. But guess what? You got to have guys like that.
Yeah. Eric, I agree with you, man. Get the best roster possible for 2025. Good starting pitchers, a bullpen, and a new closer, and a big bat. You're not asking for much.
Yeah, you're not getting the big bat. You're not.
Why? Your lineup is not feared at all.
I don't disagree.
Okay. Well, good luck winning that 90
Unless
games.
You can.
We made a bet yesterday. We made a bet.
Yeah, Cubs win the division.
We get the field. Wayne, he wants to know Bears or Niners. He likes to know. Tune in to Falco Football Recap Live. That was yesterday. 24-20, I believe, was your prediction.
Correct.
Yeah.
Niners.
Oh, Cap. Look at all these guys. Casey, Triantos, and Mervis for a Crochet that might get
it done. I would do that. I would think about that.
That might do it. That might do it. Casey's 34th overall prospect. Triantos is what, 50? 55.
And you're getting
a 25-year-old left-handed first baseman with a lot of control.
Correct.
That might get it done.
That might get it done.
And think about what I'm saying. I'm a Sox guy. I have not one iota of a problem with Garrett Crochet shoving at Wrigley Field. Zero. I don't care if the Cubs win 3 World Series with Garrett Crochet on the mound. I don't.
Because Owen Casey becomes a really solid major league outfielder and Triantos a really solid major league second baseman. Oh, Matt Mervis hit 23 bombs and drove in 70. You'd be like, wow.
If 2 of those guys, let's say the top 2, are 5-year starters for you, and let's say pick one of them, goes to the All-Star game twice. Crochet went to the All-Star game once, right? One's an all-star, but 2 of them are starting for you from the years 2025 through 2030. That's a win.
That's a win.
Because the White Sox are not going to win with Garrett Crochet. And I know as hard as that is for people to accept, why would we want to watch him do that? Get over it. The Sox and Cubs,
cares where he pitches
they both have won World Series now. If one of us had not had a World Series, it might be different. But if the Cubs win this year and the Sox were to win in 2030, it'll never be as good as the first. It might be good for our kids who didn't experience those. But you go to Boston today, and if you bring up 2013, 2007, or 2004, there will be tears. People will be talking and hugging and talking about where they were, and all of them will be talking about 2004. Every single one of them. And it doesn't mean 07 and 13 didn't matter or didn't count or weren't special.
04 is when they went to the cemetery and said, we won.
I'm telling you, I could give two shits if Luis Roberts playing center field for the Cubs and Garrett Crochet is leading the National League in strikeouts. If it's a return, that is great. Boom. If this is the return and it fails, I want to know why. I want to know why two top 50 prospects could come to the White Sox and fall flat on their face. Because at some point, if it's just like that, time and time and time again, you have to look internally. You have to look in the mirror and say, "What we have a player development issue." It can't always be failed prospect, failed prospect, failed prospect, failed because that is actually not how it works. Prospects fail time and time and time again.
You either have a development issue or you have an evaluation issue.
You might have both. Cap, love having you on the show, kid.
Good to be with you all.
Look at it. We're going to keep talking about this. Ryan also talking about Florio. Bears trading for a coach. I agree with that. We're going to get into that, I think, a little bit later this week. David, MLB uniforms was a big story early last year as Fanatics or Nike rectifying the issue. Fanatics is still under contract. I could tell you that with the deal. Tyler, I would trade those guys, but not for Crochet. Crochet has been good for 20 minutes. I don't really know, Tyler, where you think you're getting a stud pitcher that is cheap for 2 years, that won the comeback player of the year, was all MLB, I think, second team, if I'm not mistaken. Had 200 strikes. I mean, they're not every team has those guys. I'm just telling you. And that's the way it goes. Is Cap coming to Sox Fest to see fans melt down? We'll talk about that, Justin. We'll talk. It's not we don't want to see fans melt down. If anything, we want to interact with them and have fun with it. I still want to know what Guff got Cap for his birthday. You got lap there, DV. We take care of each other. I'll tell you that. He's my guy and vice versa. So, Tyler, Cubs are shopping Bellinger because they have their guy in center field for the next 6 to 10 years. That's not true. Tyler, dude, the Cubs are shopping Cody Bellinger because they don't want to pay that money to that guy. And they'd like to free that money up to pay other people. Good job. Amy, appreciate you. Am I missing something about PCA, says Scott, because he can't hit a home run, let alone a double? Scott, I think that's there. I'm going to bring up Pete Crow Armstrong.
You know nothing about baseball. You know nothing about baseball.
Yeah, that's just fired Cap up. I want to read to you Pete Crow Armstrong's. First of all, he had 10 homers. He was a 2.3 WAR player on Baseball Reference. I know he was an 88 OPS, but what I was really wanting to pull up here are his splits in 2024. You said he can't hit a double either. I think he had how many doubles did he have? I'm pulling this up right now. Second half, PCA was a 262, 310, 425 slug. He had an OPS plus of 105. He had 7 homers, 8 doubles. In 56 of his hits, 18 were for extra bases, 30 RBI, 10 stolen bases. The dude in August hit 314 with a 933 OPS. He had 17 RBI in 26 games. Not quite sure, Scott. I think you're missing a little bit of something. If you look at, you can't just look at the back of the baseball card and see, oh, he had 204. You got to look at how he trended as the season was going. Antonio, good afternoon to you. Tyler really hammering me about the Crochet. He's been good for 2 months. We're not talking about Randy Johnson here. That's why we were hesitant to trade the top guys. You know, Randy Johnson was once dealt from the Montreal Expos. How'd that work out? You know, like, guys, I'm just telling you, Tyler, you can fall in love with prospects, man. You can fall in love with your top guys. At some point, look at your major league roster too. Okay. The major league roster needs to be better.
think like a GM and take his fan hat off.
Take your fan hat off, says Cap. Think like a GM. Clyde, will the Cubs win the Central in 2025? Cap says yes. I'm going to take the field because why wouldn't I? Jeff, the golden rule. I know I'm getting into this late in the show. It's the dumbest, most insanely idiotic baseball idea ever. How about just have a home run derby decide things if the game goes past 11? And for the record, I favored the pitch timer and the reliever limits large. Jeff, beautifully said. I asked, is it the dumbest rule in sports, in the history of sports, or the dumbest discussion in the history of sports? If anything, it's got Rob Manfred back in the news as the winter meetings come. This idea is so insanely stupid. It changes the game of baseball forever, and you can keep it. I will not be a fan if that's how things happen. Would the Cubs trade anyone on their major league roster for Crochet? Unless it's Pete Crow Armstrong, no. The White Sox have no interest in taking on 26, 27-year-old position players like Nico Horner or Ian Happ. They're not expecting to win. As a matter of fact, look at Boston, who's been discussing Abreu in their package, and the White Sox don't have interest in a guy who's currently already out there eating up control and wasting talent for years wasted. Not happening. Not happening. Clyde, every day, man, it wouldn't be a show unless you were upset about being ignored. I appreciate you for that. Never fall in love with the prospects, Felix. Less is more, kid. Love it. Appreciate that. Period. Tyler, you would definitely trade Shaw if it brought a great hitter back. I'm not trading PCA for a risky pitcher. That's not. Hey, PCA's a risky player. Matt Shaw's done nothing at the big league level. I'm just telling you, man, when you fall in love, it will lead to failure. Time and time and time again. Jess, what's up? Looks brown and smells bad to me. So she says about the golden rule. Hope this doesn't become a reality in baseball. There's no way that's happening. I'll be pissed if it does. All right, I got to get you what is my new segment every day. My recap bet of the day. We lost. Oh, kiss my ass, Cap. He's saying he was loud. Yeah, Jalen Brunson was playing in a game that was a 30-point blowout early in the third quarter. He didn't even play. He had 3 assists in the first quarter. 3 assists. We were feeling pretty good. 4 assists at the half, and basically played 3 minutes in the second half. My bet of the day, Cap, on this one, the recap bet of the day, Oregon laying the 6 at USC. USC is 1-7 against the spread. They covered in their first game. They haven't covered in their 7 since. Oregon's pretty good. They're a top 20 team. They're going on the road in conference play. Nope, not in conference play because Oregon's part of the Big Ten. A former conference rival. I'm laying the 6. You should too. We're 1-1 in our new segment. I'm laying the 6. Late night college basketball for you. Oregon -6 at USC. We will keep on keeping on. Wayne, I appreciate you, man. We appreciate all you guys. You guys know that. And David, I just want to make sure I cut this in one more time. Prospects are suspects. According to Athletic, the Sox don't invest in player development. So what are we doing? The Sox have spent a ton of money, actually, in the last 2 years in player development. So there we go. Appreciate you guys. This has been the recap lunch hour with me, Ryan McGuffey. We do it every single day. There's our great graphic. Compliments of my awesome daughter. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Take that.